All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address event to dedicate 7 new defence companies to the nation today. Prime Minister to perform Bhumi Pujan ceremony of first phase of boys' hostel in Surat this morning. COVID-19 vaccination coverage in the country surpasses 97 crore mark. India re-elected to UN Human Rights Council for record 6th term with overwhelming majority. India to attend Moscow format meet on Afghanistan on 20th of October. Vijay Dashmi is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. President Ram Nath Kovind to participate in Shastra Puja at Kargil War Memorial in Dras today. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. As India is on the verge of vaccinating 100 crore people against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses and others who are making this possible. At the same time, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver a video address in an event organized by the Defence Ministry to dedicate the 7 new defence companies to the nation at 12:10 p.m. today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and representatives from the Defence Industry Associations will be present on the occasion. More from our correspondent.
The government has decided to convert Ordnance Factory Board from a government department into 7 corporate entities, 100% owned by government, as a measure to improve self-reliance in the defence preparedness of the country. The move will bring about enhanced functional autonomy, efficiency and will unleash new growth potential and innovation. The 7 new defence companies that have been incorporated are Munitions India Limited, Armoured Vehicles Nigam Limited Avni, Advanced Weapons and Equipment India Limited, Troop Comforts Limited, Yantra India Limited, India Optel Limited and Gliders India Limited. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Armoured Vehicles Nigam Limited in Tamil Nadu is one of the 7 new defence companies that will be dedicated to the nation today. All the 5 units of the company and its corporate headquarter at Avadi in Tamil Nadu will join virtually the launch ceremony along with other factories located across the country. Our Chennai correspondent has filed this report.
The Armoured Vehicles Nigam Limited at Avadi has commenced its operations with effect from the 1st of this month. Having a world-class infrastructure and state-of-the-art technology and around 12,000 personnel, the main products of the company are battle tanks, ICVs, military mobility solutions, engines and other accessories. It has an order book position in excess of 31,000 crores. The products are all time-tested and have served as the source of strength for the armed forces, paramilitary forces and homeland security agencies. Joy, Area News, Chennai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will perform the Bhumi Pujan ceremony of the first phase of boys' hostel constructed by Saurashtra Patel Seva Samaj at Surat in Gujarat at 11 a.m. today through video conferencing. The hostel building has residential facilities for around 1,500 students. It also contains an auditorium and a dedicated library for the students. The construction of the second phase of the hostel to accommodate around 500 girls will start next year. Saurashtra Patel Seva Samaj is a registered trust established in 1983 whose main objective is educational and social transformation of weaker sections of the society. It helps in preparing students for various competitive exams and also provides them with a platform for entrepreneurship and skill development.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 97 crore mark. Over 97 crore, 11,20,000 vaccine doses have been administered till now. The Health Ministry said more than 27,62,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 98.07%, the highest since March last year. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has achieved the milestone of 100% coverage of first dose COVID vaccine for the age group of above 18 years old across all 20 districts. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that keeping with the pace of vaccination, the government administered 82,229 doses of COVID vaccine in the last 24 hours across the Union Territory. With this, the cumulative number of doses administered in Jammu and Kashmir reached over 1 crore 34 lakh doses so far.
The Tamil Nadu government has decided to reopen worship places on all days, including the weekend. The relaxation comes into effect immediately. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has said that standard operating procedures should be followed by all during this festive season. He said that all shops and restaurants will be allowed to function till 11 p.m. From the 1st of November, schools and Anganwadis will be allowed to function for all classes. Teachers, caretakers and cooks at schools should be vaccinated. Public will be allowed on the beaches on Sundays. Weddings are restricted to 100 participants. Shops and restaurants are allowed to be opened. India has been re-elected to the UN Human Rights Council for a record 6th term with an overwhelming majority. Permanent Mission of India in the United Nations said India stands committed to work together with fellow members of the Council towards the goal of global promotion and protection of human rights. It expressed gratitude to the UN membership for reposing its faith in India. The Indian mission said it will continue to work for promotion and protection of human rights through Samman, Samvad and Sahyog. It has congratulated other UN member states who have been elected to the Council.
India has rejected China's opposition to Vice President Benkai Naidu's trip to Arunachal Pradesh. Briefing media in New Delhi last evening, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arundam said, Arunachal Pradesh is an integral and inalienable part of India. He said Indian leaders routinely travel to Arunachal Pradesh as they do to any other state of India. He added that objecting to the visit of Indian leaders to a state of India does not stand to reason and understanding of Indian people.
अरुणाचल प्रदेश भारत का एक अभिन्न और अविभाज्य हिस्सा है. कई मौकों पर हमने चीनी पक्ष को स्पष्ट रूप से अवगत कराया है. भारतीय नेता नियमित रूप से अरुणाचल प्रदेश राज्य की यात्रा करते हैं, जैसे वो भारत के किसी भी अन्य राज्य में करते हैं. भारतीय नेताओं को भारत में किसी राज्य के दौरे पर आपत्ति जताना भारतीय लोगों के लिए तर्क और समझ से हटकर है.
On Bhutan and China signing an MOU on three-step roadmap for expediting the Bhutan-China boundary negotiations, the MEA spokesperson said India is aware that they have been holding boundary negotiations. Replying to another query, Mr. Bakshi said India will participate in the Moscow format meeting on Afghanistan on 20th of October. This will be the first meeting of the Moscow format since the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. The Moscow format was launched in 2017 as a six-party mechanism for consultations between representatives of Afghanistan, China, Pakistan, Iran, India and Russia.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said the government has taken evolutionary path to ensure equal participation of women in armed forces. Delivering the inaugural address at Shanghai Cooperation Organization webinar on role of women in armed forces, he said, women have been serving with pride in Indian military nursing service for over 100 years now. Indian Army had commenced commissioning women officers in 1992. The minister said from next year, women shall be able to join the premier Tri-Service Training Institute, the National Defence Academy. He wished to see women officers from the SCO nations in the Officer Training Academy, Chennai.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address event to dedicate 7 new defence companies to the nation today. Prime Minister to perform Bhumi Pujan ceremony of first phase of Boys Hostel in Surat this morning. COVID-19 vaccination coverage in the country surpasses 97 crore mark. India re-elected to UN Human Rights Council for record 6th term with overwhelming majority. India to attend Moscow format meet on Afghanistan on 20th October. Vijayadashami is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and the Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. President Ramnath Kovind to participate in Shastra Puja at Kargil War Memorial in Dras today. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The festival of Vijayadashmi or Dussehra is being celebrated across the country today. The festival is celebrated to remember Lord Ram's victory over Ravan, marking the triumph of good over evil. The day also marks the culmination of Navaratri and Durga Puja. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President Benkai, Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on this special occasion of Vijayadashmi. In his message, President Kovind said, Vijayadashmi is celebrated to mark the victory of good over evil. He said, the persona of Lord Ram and his righteous conduct as Maryada Purushottam is an ideal for all. He expressed hope that the festival strengthens the moral foundation of the society and inspires all the citizens to work for nation building. The Vice President in his message said, Dussehra is an occasion to remind everyone of the need to constantly quell the demonic forces and foster goodness and harmony. He hoped that the festival brings peace, harmony and prosperity in the country. President Ramnath Kovind will celebrate Dussehra with Jawans at Dras in Ladakh today. President Kovind is on a 2-day visit to Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir. On the second day of his visit today, President Kovind will lay wreath at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras. He will also interact with the troops at the War Memorial. We have more from our Leh correspondent.
President of India and the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces Ramnath Kovind is visiting Kargil War Memorial for the first time. On his arrival, Ladakh LG R.K. Mathur will receive the President at Kargil War Memorial in Dras. President will lay wreath at Kargil War Memorial to pay homage to the war martyrs. Army officials will brief him about Kargil War at the foothills of Tololing. President Mr. Kovind will participate in Vijayadashami celebrations with Shastra Puja at War Memorial. Later, he will interact with the troops at the War Memorial. Ramesh Chandra, All India Radio News, Leh.
The Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE, has said that the first-term board examinations for classes 10th and 12th will be conducted offline in November-December this year, and the date sheet for it will be announced on the 18th of this month. In a circular, the board said the exams will be objective type and the duration of the exams will be 90 minutes. In view of the winter season, the exams will start from 11:30 a.m. instead of 10:30 a.m. After the first-term exams, the results in the form of the marks scored will be declared. The CBSE said the second-term examination would be conducted in March-April next year, and whether it will be objective or subjective type will depend on the COVID situation in the country. No student will be placed in the pass, compartment and essential repeat categories after the first term. The final results will be announced after the first and the second-term examinations. It said practical exams or internal assessment will be completed in schools before the first-term exams are over. The marks allotted will be 50% of the total marks and mentioned in the syllabus. The schools will be informed separately about the full scheme so that they can make the necessary preparations.
Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs, Mr. Prahlad Joshi, has assured that no power plants in the country will be hindered due to shortage of coal supply. Union Coal Minister yesterday inspected the Ashok Coal Project of Central Coalfields Limited, CCL, in Chatra district of Jharkhand to take stock of coal production from CIL subsidiaries. On his visit to Jharkhand, Mr. Joshi said that the situation is being reviewed to speed up coal production. He said that the demand raised by Ministry of Power has been fulfilled. Coal production is further increased to meet the requirements and ensure smooth supply of coal to power plants across the country. The centre has written to states seeking action for ensuring that the prices of edible oils are brought down post-import duty reduction for immediate relief of consumers. The Department of Food and Public Distribution has written to all major oil-producing states to take appropriate and immediate action for ensuring that the prices of edible oils are brought down to commensurate levels in line with the import duty reductions. The letter has been written to Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, which are major oil-producing states. The centre has directed the states to ensure that full benefit of duty reduction made by the centre is passed on to the consumers in order to provide immediate relief from the prevailing high prices of edible oils, especially during the festival season. This would also help in bringing down the food inflation and provide relief to ordinary consumers by reduction in the prices of edible oils by 15 to 20 rupees per kilogram.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
In today's episode, we are paying tributes to the great but unsung revolutionary freedom fighter, Durga Devi Vohra, also known as Durgavati Devi, who left us on 15th October in 1999. She was a key member of Chandrasekhar Azad and Bhagat Singh's Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, HSRA.
Another association member, Bhagwati Charan Vohra, was her husband, and hence the association members used to call her Bhabhi, and she became popular as Durga Bhabhi in Indian revolutionary circles. At that time, she was one of the few women revolutionaries who actively participated in the armed revolution against the ruling British Raj.
After Saunders's assassination on 17th of December 1928, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru came to Durga Devi for help. She not only gave them a large sum of money, rather daringly agreed to help them escape Lahore. She posed as the wife of Bhagat Singh and put her infant son Sachin in his lap while Rajguru carried their luggage as their servant.
They passed fearlessly through a police cordon and boarded a first-class train carriage for Lucknow, where they changed trains for Calcutta. In order to avoid recognition, Bhagat Singh had shaved off his beard and cut his hair short the previous day and dressed in a Western attire.
After attending some sessions of the Calcutta Congress, Durga Devi returned to Lahore with her son. In April 1929, Bhagat Singh and his associate Batukeshwar Dutt set off 2 low-intensity homemade bombs among some unoccupied benches of the Central Legislative Assembly.
In Lahore, investigators discovered the HSRA's bomb factory in Kashmir House, which was rented out in Durga Bhabhi's husband Bhagwati Charan's name. They arrested Sukhdev, Jai Gopal and Kishori Lal, but Bhagwati Charan managed to go into hiding.
During this period, Durga Devi supported the families of revolutionaries in Lahore and helped in passing on letters for absconding revolutionaries. She led the funeral procession of revolutionary Jatin Das from Lahore to Calcutta after his death in a 63-day jail hunger strike. She was also involved in the procurement of weapons for the revolutionaries around this time.
In 1929, Bhagwati Charan and Durga Devi were involved in a plot with Chandrasekhar Azad, Yashpal and Vaishampayan to free Bhagat Singh from prison by raiding a police van during his transfer from Borstal to Central Jail in Lahore.
On 28th May 1930, Bhagwati Charan died when he was testing a bomb in a forest and it exploded prematurely in his hand. Following her husband's death, Durga Devi was constantly on the move, staying one step ahead of police.
When Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were awarded the death sentence, Durga Devi attempted to kill Lord Haley, an ex-governor of Punjab and a staunch enemy of revolutionaries. Although Haley escaped, his several associates died. Durga Devi was caught by the British police and imprisoned for 3 years.
After independence, Durga Devi started living as a common citizen in quiet anonymity in Ghaziabad. She later opened a school for poor children in Lucknow. She died in Ghaziabad on October the 15th, 1999, at the age of 92.
Her courage and fearlessness were indeed like Durga Ma, as she fought against the evil British imperialist forces to free her motherland from foreign rule.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow. Prasar Bharati is phasing out outdated analog DD terrestrial broadcast. This paves the way for emerging technologies and new content opportunities. Now the viewers can watch over 150 TV channels free of cost on DD Free Dish, a direct-to-home, free-to-air service of Doordarshan. The channels include all DD channels and various private and educational TV channels. For any query, viewers can contact 011-2580-6200 on working days between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur yesterday launched My Parkings app in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Thakur said, "Parking is a difficult issue and this app is an effort to reduce stress and help people plan their trips better. Smart parking solution through app or through card is an effortless solution toward hassle-free parking." The minister said booking of online parking slots will enable people to park their vehicles without inconvenience. The nation pays homage to former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on his birth anniversary today. Dr. Kalam is also known as a missile man of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has paid tribute to Dr. Kalam on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Dr. Kalam dedicated his life in making India strong, prosperous and capable. The Prime Minister said, Dr. Kalam will always remain a source of inspiration for the countrymen.
In IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders will lock horns in the Summit Clash at Dubai today. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. While Mahendra Singh Dhoni led Chennai Super Kings defeated Delhi Capitals in Qualifier 1. Kolkata Knight Riders defeated Royal Challengers Bangalore in Eliminator 1 and Delhi Capitals in Qualifier 2 to book a place in the final. Chennai Super Kings have 3 titles with 5 final defeats, while Kolkata Knight Riders have won both their finals under Gautam Gambhir. At least 46 people have been killed and dozens more seriously injured in a fire at a 13-story tower block in southern Taiwan. A residential and commercial building in the city of Kaohsiung caught fire in the early hours of yesterday morning, the local fire department said. It took firefighters more than 4 hours to extinguish the blaze. The fire department told media that 79 people had been taken to hospital, including 14 in a serious condition. The cause of the fire is unclear and investigators are at the scene.
A breakthrough for the Indian pharmaceutical industry in China has been achieved as the first anti-cancer drug from India has entered the Chinese markets. Agreements have been signed between local Chinese companies and India's Dr. Reddy's lab on Monday for the sale of Abiraterone, the first anti-cancer drug from India in China. India's ambassador Vikram Misri announced this in a tweet. There is a huge demand for cancer drugs in China as the mortality rate of cancer in China is high.
Sarsangh Chalak of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, today said, "Our country achieved freedom due to relentless freedom struggle." He said the future generation should know this glorious history in the ongoing Amrit Mahotsav celebration of India's independence. Dr. Mohan Bhagwat was addressing the main function of annual Vijayadashmi festival of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh RSS in Nagpur. Due to the corona pandemic, the event this year was organized in Smriti Mandir, premises of Reshim Bagh headquarters of RSS in Nagpur, 200 selected Swayam Sevaks participated in the flag hoisting ceremony today. Consul General of Israel in Mumbai, Kobi Shoshani, attended the event. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari was also present on the occasion. And now let us take a look at the weather update for today. Srinagar will witness mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 8 and 24 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. Leh is expected to have partly clear sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will be between 2 and 15 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 6 and 25 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The national capital Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and the maximum is likely to be 34 degrees. Mumbai may experience partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Temperature will hover between 21 and 28 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad may experience generally cloudy sky with light rain. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The city observed a minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and a maximum will be around 34 degrees. Tiruvananthapuram will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Shillong will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Aizawl will have a generally cloudy sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. India backs fresh WHO probe into COVID origin, writes in the Sun Times. Transgressions to be countered with surgical strikes, Amit Shah warns Pakistan, headlines the Tribune. India accepts Russia's invite for talks with Taliban next week, reports the Indian Express. India takes note as China-Bhutan Ink border talks MOU, writes the Times of India. Bulls continue to scale new highs, Sensex top 61,000, headlines the Economic Times. CBSE exams offline, date sheet on October 18, informs Hindustan Times. An assessment after the collapse of a building in Kachighati reveals that as many as 65% Shimla buildings are vulnerable, reports the Tribune. It quotes experts as saying the demolition is no answer. And finally, after snowfall in high Himalayas, Delhi temperature falls to 19 degrees, writes the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address event to dedicate 7 new defence companies to the nation today. Prime Minister to perform Bhumi Pujan ceremony of first phase of boys' hostel in Surat this morning. COVID-19 vaccination coverage in the country surpasses 97 crore mark. India re-elected to UN Human Rights Council for record 6th term with overwhelming majority. India to attend Moscow format meet on Afghanistan on 20th of October. Vijay Dashami is being celebrated across the country today. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. President Ram Nath Kovind to participate in Shastra Puja at Kargil War Memorial in Dras today. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders to lock horns in summit clash at Dubai today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.